It was Christmas morning, but no one was celebrating. Not here, deep in the unforgiving Amazon jungle. A 17-year-old girl lay alone, badly injured, surrounded only by the sounds of insects, birds, and the relentless rush of water. She had fallen from 10,000 feet, strapped to a plane seat as the aircraft tore itself apart in a storm. Everyone else was gone. No screams, no calls, just the terrifying silence of the forest. How could anyone survive such a fall? How could a teenage girl face starvation, predators, and the jungle itself, and live? What followed over the next 11 days would defy belief, challenge every assumption about human endurance, and prove that courage, knowledge, and sheer determination can turn the odds of death into a story that still amazes the world. Just hours before the deadliest storm of her life, Flight 508 seemed perfectly ordinary. On December 24, 1971, a Lockheed L-188 Electra took off from Lima, Peru, bound for Pucallpa, carrying 86 passengers excited for Christmas. Families chatted about their plans, flight attendants served breakfast, and the pilots even joked about their loved ones waiting at home. Among the passengers was 17-year-old Juliane Koepcke, traveling with her mother to a remote biological research station. She had caught this flight at the last minute, dismissing her father's warnings about the airline's safety record. The Andes Mountains stretched below, untouched and peaceful, as the plane hummed along the sky. Life felt ordinary, festive, and safe, or so everyone thought. But far above the mountains, a storm was silently gathering, waiting to shatter that sense of security forever. Then, out of nowhere, the sky turned dark. Thick clouds swallowed the sunlight, and a violent storm erupted around the plane. Lightning flashed dangerously close, and the Electra shuddered under extreme turbulence. Passengers screamed as overhead compartments burst open, sending luggage tumbling through the cabin like deadly missiles. Rain pelted the windows, thunder rattled the fuselage, and the pilots fought desperately to maintain control. But the storm would not relent. In mere minutes, an ordinary flight became a nightmare. And then, the unimaginable happened. Lightning struck the right wing, igniting a fire. The wing tore away, followed moments later by part of the left. The plane, once a vessel of safety and Christmas cheer, had become a falling death trap. For one teenage girl, everything hung by a thread. Her fight for survival was about to begin. At 21,000 feet, Flight 508 disappeared from radar. Air traffic controllers watched helplessly as the dot representing the plane vanished into nothing. Hope dwindled instantly. Had it crashed? Emergency crews feared the worst. On the ground, no one knew what had happened. The thought that anyone could survive seemed impossible. Yet amidst the wreckage far below, one life defied the odds. A single teenage girl had survived a plane disintegrating in midair, hurtling into the heart of the Amazon. How could she possibly survive the fall, the storm, and the merciless forest? Her fight for life was just beginning, and the jungle held no mercy. Juliane's survival began in the most unbelievable way. Her plane seat detached and tumbled through the storm, and she was strapped in, spinning through the air like a fragile leaf caught in a hurricane. Updrafts from the storm slowed her descent, while the seat's motion acted like a makeshift rotor, cushioning the fall. Then, as if nature itself intervened, the dense Amazon canopy below absorbed the impact. Branches and vines broke her fall like a soft, jagged net. She crashed onto the forest floor, battered and injured. Broken collarbone, sprained knee, cuts and bruises, but astonishingly alive. When she opened her eyes, the endless green stretched in every direction. The screams, the chaos, the plane. They were gone. No one should have survived this fall. Yet somehow, she did. Alone, battered, and facing the jungle's fury, her true struggle was only beginning. Alone in the Amazon, every step was a battle. Juliane's broken body ached, her vision blurred, and hunger gnawed relentlessly. Water came from dew on leaves, and food was scarce. Mushrooms and rain-drenched supplies from the crash were rationed carefully to survive. The jungle teemed with danger. Snakes coiled in the underbrush, spiders crawled unseen, and predators watched silently. Injuries became infected, and maggots infested her wounds, forcing her to extract them painfully with a small silver ring. Yet she pressed on, following streams as her parents had taught her, hoping they might lead to safety. Every night, the darkness pressed closer. Every rustle made her heart pound. 11 days of relentless struggle lay ahead, each one a test of her courage, knowledge, and sheer will to survive. After 11 days of exhaustion, hunger, and constant fear, Juliane finally saw signs of human life: a small boat and a narrow path leading to a hut. She summoned her last ounce of strength. Every step was a battle against pain and fatigue. The hut was empty, but it held basic supplies. She tended to her wounds as best she could, relief washing over her in small, precious moments. Hours later, 3 local people appeared. At first, they were terrified, mistaking her for a spirit of the forest. When she explained in Spanish that she was the sole survivor of Flight 508, they helped her with food, clothing, and medical care. For the first time in 11 days, she was back among humans. The forest had tested her in ways no one could imagine, and somehow, she had survived. But the ordeal left marks deeper than any wound. The trauma, the memories, and the haunting question that would linger forever. Why her? Her story would become one of the most astonishing tales of human survival the world has ever known. Juliane's survival didn't end with rescue. It marked the beginning of a remarkable life. She recovered from her injuries, studied biology, and eventually took over the Panguana research station her parents had founded, dedicating herself to protecting the Amazon. Yet the memories of the crash lingered. Nightmares haunted her, visions of those who didn't survive, and the haunting question remained: why her? The answer lay in courage, knowledge, and determination, the very tools that had kept her alive. Her story reminds us that even in the face of impossible odds, human resilience can triumph. If a 17-year-old girl could survive 11 days alone in one of the deadliest jungles on Earth, then each of us has the power to face our own fears, overcome challenges, and rise stronger than ever. Could you survive the impossible? What would it take to face the unimaginable and live? If this story inspired you, hit subscribe to Storyground for more incredible survival tales, and drop a comment below. What would you do if you were in Juliane's shoes?